All right. Hey, so I'm Paulette Rees-Denis, and we are here today with Misha, Cain, Nell from Florida. And we've got a special edition this week. We're adding some extra interviews with my master teachers and leaders and dancers from the Global Caravan Dance Company. Because why? We are hosting a 5-day virtual gathering. It's called The Gathering. It is a global dance epic workshop, series of workshops, 5 days of workshops, 5 days of chats, live chats, pre-recorded workshops, everyday drilling and workouts and tribal grooves, madness, some crafting, just whatever flows. And the ability to be able to connect with not only global caravan dancers, but any dancers are invited to this, to learn this particular styling, but to be able to learn other ideas and inspirations. And also what I'm loving about all of this is being able to bring you my master leaders and master teachers and their creations, their creativity, inspired by the original Global Caravan dialect. So Misha, hi.
Hello, Paula. Thank you for having me.
So nice to see your beautiful face.
Same. It's always a joy to see you.
And I'm so excited to be doing this work with you.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, what a world we live in, right? Like it's so many gifts have been brought to us, even though we've all had all the stuff, but how incredible to be able to get together and connect. And I know I always tell people my favorite thing about doing things like the intensives, like collective soul or teacher training, is that time with other dancers. I love seeing everybody and getting to meet people. Like I have friends all over the world now because of this dance.
I know.
Yeah. And so I'm so jazzed to see who comes to this meeting. And I've had a couple people ask me like, well, I'm not like, I don't do this. We have some brand new people just starting here in Florida, and they've asked like, hey, can I come? And I'm like, yeah, it really doesn't matter what style you do, because this can be, applied across the board. There's something in it for everyone for sure.
Absolutely. And I love that. And it's for all levels. And
Yeah.
sometimes there's going to be things that might be too hard for you. Yeah, let it go. Sometimes there'll be things that'll be too easy for you. It's always good to review.
Uh-huh.
And work on that technique, because dance is an art form. Our bodies are our medium, our tools. And part of the Global Caravan fullness is the lifestyle commitment to living a healthy, whole, beautiful body life. And that doesn't mean, a skinny 20 ballerina. At any size, any age, the dance can be for you. And I think that's so important. It's healthy, it's in alignment. But we take it not just from the body, but we take it into the heart and into the spirit and the brain. So what do you have to say about that, Misha?
Oh, well, so much. I mean, I'm really, and a lot, I mean, but a lot of the master teachers and just the teachers in general, like so many of us, our lives have really changed. And really, the word that really comes forward for me is evolved, right? So we've, and because it's not just that we've grown, because we have, but I feel like, there's that element of like leveling up and, really transforming. But I know that like with me personally, I've definitely experienced that. And the dance, I mean, I have literally danced through every rough moment of my life.
Wow.
And it's just been such a beautiful gift. And I don't know, sometimes I feel really silly saying it, but I cannot tell you enough, like the ability to move the body and shift that energy is huge. Like
Mm,
it keeps you from being stuck.
yes.
And in, you know, in different traditional healings, like we talk about like stuff, like it gets stuck in our body. You've gotta move, you've got to get it through. And I mean, you know, trauma shows up in so many different ways. And and sometimes it's not even important how it gets there, but like it, like for oftentimes through no fault of our own, it just kind of, we carry it with us, right? And that dance, like first of all, it just feels good to move the body. Like
Yes.
as somebody who like has now had COVID twice, like, you know, and has had to sit there because that's,
Man.
you know, right. And that, I mean, it's such a, it's such an illness of rest, which is beautiful. Like, right. Like it asks you to rest. But I went stir crazy because I was like, I need to move. So I would just like
There's a
sit there
lesson there.
hard. But that place of like moving the energy in the body, right? And like letting yourself really open and really allowing yourself to enjoy, you know, and feeling that connection to the body, the heart, the mind, and you know, the divine is just fantastic. And I really like the fact that that is a big piece of our dance. Um, Having danced many styles, you don't see that everywhere. And that's not a complaint, it's just an observation.
Right.
And I really love that in this gathering, it gives us an opportunity to see how other people are doing that and be awed by it, right? Like, oh, I love seeing what everyone is doing.
Because
And
that's so
also,
important to be awed.
and to be
Like,
inspired, like I'm getting
continue to
goosebumps.
grow. I know, to continue
Yeah.
to grow and expand your art form.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell some of the other like whenever like Nina or Rochelle say like, oh, that looks so good. I'm like, ladies, you set the bar so high. Like I love it. Like I'm inspired constantly. And so this is a great opportunity to like be inspired, be amazed, and then like take the information that we're going to be able to give to you and then, you know, make it your own, with that carrying that lineage and that love of dance and the body and all of that, but also being able to express yourself as well, which I just think is freaking awesome.
Yeah. And the thing is making it your own, which is something I've told my dancers from the very day one, because dance is a living, breathing art form, and we are all unique. This style of language of the dance brings us together because there's power in the synchronicity, in the movement together. And so learning the roots is so important so that you can create and you can move from that space because we know how to look. We know how to look at each other. We know how to count. We know our rhythms. We know how to hear the music. And we know how to fall in together to create that magic. It's magic. It's energy in the moment. It's a moving meditation. And we've been able to take it into so many directions, into so many ways of movement, including props, including ritual and ceremony,
Just thinking that.
including the costuming and the eclectic um, collection of world dances and traditions.
Yeah, and we've even, I think that as a woman, right, living in modern times, I think that it's also really important to acknowledge that there's a big piece of this, that this is for us.
Mm.
Like it's and that being said, I totally have guys who are in my tribe and also people who express as gender non-binary, because just as the dance, just as people are changing, the dance is changing as well. And I think though that like this is the healthiest expression of the divine feminine that I've ever really gotten to
Mm.
experience,
Mm.
you know. And I have women come into my classes, all, and men come in, like one of my guys says, you know, he had a lot of stuff with sisters and moms, and he said like this was the first time I was able to be around women and be comfortable. And then
Mm.
I have
Wow.
women saying, you know, this, like this is their sisterhood, this is their family. And I mean it's again like I get so excited and so goosebumps because, you know, it's one of those things where like we may not all connect, and that's okay because we're all different, but we still have that container where we all respect one another, and we all like see each other for the amazing, like incredible people that we are. So I just, and I can't wait to do that at the gathering. Like I'm so excited to take everybody's classes. Like I'm just so jazzed.
So good. And so what are you bringing to the gathering?
So yeah.
Besides
So
your fabulous self.
well, so many moons ago, before I started GC, I had this, I was inspired by shapes, and the shapes and the formations that can be made by multiple dancers, and one for sure, but it works great with multiple dancers on in like as they dance together. And it's like you said, like that magic, right? So the idea of creating sacred shapes and weaving the magic into, so that like your body is dancing the art, but then when you add another person, they are as well, but it gets even bigger because it's what you're creating with your body in the moment, but then you can expound that, almost like a sacred geometry kind of thing. I know, whew, that's a lot, but I promise you,
In
I
other
am,
words, formations.
yeah, formations. There you go. That's my TED Talk. I love formations, and I have really had a lot of fun playing around with different formations and really figuring out different ways that we can bring in some planned formation changes with our global caravan movements. So for me, my word for that I use is a glamour, because I consider a formation like we're in the shape and we stay in it for a while. And this is more like a plan of of changing formations from several different shapes. And I like the word glamour because I borrowed that from the idea of fairy magic. So it's very playful, a little mischievous, fun, and it's the idea of like tricking the eye. So the shapes that we make, you think we're going to do one thing, but then we do something like kind of different and unusual for it. So that's what I'm bringing. And I'm very aware that not everybody has, 3 dancers, 4 dancers, whatever. So everything I present can be scaled down. So you can do it with like a larger group, or you can do it with 2. So yeah.
Nice. And so you're also hosting a live chat.
Yes, I am. Topic to be announced.
I think we decided on a day, but those will be posted. Every day we're going to have a live chat.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think
way different times, because we've got New Zealanders and Australians and Europe and the UK and the US and Mexico. And so not everybody can be there live. Everything will be recorded. And those are some of the questions we've been having, is that, yes, the workshops are going to be pre-recorded. So every day you're going to get your downloads of those workshops that you can download and keep forever, I think. Or maybe it's just the week.
it would be awesome if they could keep it for longer.
No, keep it forever, but it's only going to be available for a week. That's right.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you download it so you get it, because I don't know about you, but with all of the online classes, sometimes I will like lose things if I can download it anytime. So go ahead and get it into your container for dance, and that way you have it and you can watch it anytime.
Right. Yeah. So every day there's going to be three-ish workshops to download. Every day there's going to be a live chat. We're going to have a beautiful opening ritual ceremony, and we're going to have a closing ceremony on, well, Sunday in the US. I think it's Monday in Australia. So our days are a little bit funky because we're reaching across the globe.
Global. Yeah.
How cool is that?
I know.
How cool is that? So those were some of the questions that I know people were asking. Was there any other questions your students were asking you?
Yeah, I had some people ask how do they sign up, and I told them it's super easy. Just go to the website and all of the information is there. So it's I think it's in your shopping cart like normal, right? And you just put it in the shopping cart and go with it. I had folks asking like how will they receive the information? So is it going to be like an email?
We're going to have a private Facebook group, but
That's
some
awesome.
of us aren't on Facebook, and so every day there'll be an email with all the links.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. And then the videos are usually hosted on Vimeo, right?
Right.
Perfect. So then they could just download it, and then that way they'll have it. That's pretty much. Oh, I did have people asking if they could do the classes individually. And yeah, I think it's really important to acknowledge that like this is like we want you to be present for all of it. You know, we want, even if you can't watch it like in the moment, we want you to get like the full experience. This
Because
is,
it is the gathering. It is
yes,
a huge, big, magical circle.
yeah.
And
And
I know people will be sleeping when somebody's doing something else, and it's okay. You know, it's all going to be recorded, but to show up and participate, not just lurk in the background.
right, yeah.
You
And
know,
some of us are lurkers. Like I can be pretty shy, so I totally understand, but don't worry. We will hold that space, like however you decide to show up, like we've got you. And there's just so much enthusiasm and so much excitement around this. So and also I think we should also acknowledge this is our first time doing it, right? So we're definitely like learning
learn
like
as we go.
yeah.
Learn as we go
So
for sure.
yeah. So
But
if you
that being said, you know, this whole idea is so exciting to me that we've talked about doing this annually because we have so much, I mean, so much to offer. Every master teacher, every master leader, every certified teacher, every dancer has so much to offer. You all have so much to offer this collection of dance and connection and community and spirit, you know, and that's, everyone has a place in this circle.
absolutely. And I think that that's something I said that's a really big thing, right? Like how often do we all get to contribute? You know, how often do we all get to bring things forward? And so with that idea of like um this is the initial seed, right? And allowing it to grow. So certainly like once we get through this year, if folks have ideas, like we'd love to see you know, different ways that we can grow and offer what folks want. And this first time through, we're just excited to have it, and we invite everybody to step into that place of like the excitement and the little bit of uncertainty in the best of ways of the first time, you know, having that happen the first time. So if you've got questions, like ask
It's
your
like a first
teachers.
date. It's our
Yeah,
first date.
right. It's the
Well,
first time. It's first
well,
date.
you
It's
know, it is and it's not. I mean, I've been
that's
hosting
true. Yeah.
retreats for 30 years. We've had global caravan gatherings around the globe for many years until COVID hit. And COVID taught us a lot about this, being able to connect in this way and how to make it work, right?
Right. And we've been doing so much online. So,
That's
but
so
that's like,
beautiful. So
yeah. And if people have questions, just ask for sure.
but and just saying that is, that's one of the things that I really value about our community, is that I think it's really important to have space to talk. You know me, I can talk forever. And I will ask you to journal and write
Right.
things too.
So bring your journals. Don't
Yes,
forget your
yes.
journals.
um but so much that goes on in here needs to come out. So your voice is as important as your body in creating your art form.
And we want to hear you too. Like I think trying to figure out how to say this. One of the beautiful elements of our style is that we can say what needs to be said. It doesn't always, it's, you know, sometimes it's just like a conversation with anybody. Sometimes it can be challenging, but we are able to speak and be heard, and that allows for even more growth and expression of the dance, which I think is quite lovely.
And so what I love again about all of this is that we're all bringing, all of you, magic. We're bringing dance, we're bringing moves, we're bringing ideas, we're bringing community and the ability to connect globally, virtually. You know, we'll do it again live someday, but just, there's no way we could do this live and reach all of you. And that's so beautiful. And I, you know, like I said, my ideal vision back 30 something years ago was to bring the women of the world together with dance. And now just not women, but men and families and generations, right?
Oh,
So
that's so cool. Yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
cool. I know, I love it when I see moms and daughters and whatever, and husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends, and I know, it's just
All
like,
of it.
wow,
Yeah.
it's so good because you get to make it what you want it to be. But we're just honored to be able to bring you this tradition, this idea of lifestyle, these ideas for creativity, for growth and expansion, because we all want to make the world a better place. We all want to make our art, our heart and soul. And Misha, you bring so much of that.
Thanks.
You bring
Appreciate
beauty
that.
and healing and inspiration and connection and support. And, I can't thank you enough for being
Well,
part of this.
I mean, right back at you because it's funny. I often reflect on like where I was, right? Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I always tell people like I will never forget the very first time I had to journal for you. And I found it, like not to get totally off track, but I found it like a couple months ago. I found my very first like
Wow, really?
yes. And I
Mm.
looked at it and I'm like it said self-care and I literally wrote, I don't know. And what a change, right? So, I think that's another thing, like wherever you're at, just come. Just come, enjoy, be held, right? Be inspired, um, dance your joy and just have fun with
Yeah,
it, you
right.
know?
Just have fun. Just have fun. That's the main thing. Why do it if it's not fun? If it doesn't bring you joy and happiness, right? And so, really quickly today we're videotaping this on Monday, September 12th, and we have until the 15th for the early bird pricing. Now,
Yes.
the regular pricing is really freaking good for all that we're bringing to you, and we wanted to make it super accessible for everybody. But if you get in before the 15th, you get a special price deal. And you can go all over my Facebook. You can go all over. If you're not on my email list, join it because I'm sending out emails at www.paulettereesdenis.com for Global Caravan news and updates and all the beauty of all the things. So, Misha, I love you. Thank you for taking time to share your views, and I cannot wait for your glamoring workshop.
So excited.
You guys got to take this workshop. All of them, all of them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be bringing,
Well,
I'll be
and
bringing some of the other dancers to you this week too. So more information coming. Don't be afraid to email me with questions or email your teachers with questions so that we can get everybody on the same page. Right on. All right. So we'll see you at the gathering. And until then, many blessings.